Welcome to EmployeeConnect. In this video, you'll learn how easy it is to set up and configure leave types in the system. So first of all, you'll need to log in with admin privileges, and then you'll need to navigate to Advanced in the top menu, and then to System Management. In the side menu, you'll need to navigate to Configuration, and then Leave Types. This will show you all of the current leave types that are built into your EmployeeConnect system. Now do note, if you are connecting with a payroll system, such as Xero Payroll, KeyPay, or MYOB Account Right Live, you will first need to run the integration to pull your leave types from your payroll system into EmployeeConnect. If you manually define them here, leave requests will not successfully sync across to MYOB, KeyPay, or Xero. If you would like to manually configure and add your leave types because you are not doing a payroll integration, all you would need to do is click on the plus icon to create a new leave type. You would then need to fill in the required fields. Let's go through them now. So you'll need to create an ID and a name for your new leave type. You can then select a class if you'd like. This just groups multiple leave types under the one class. So potentially here for parental leave, it probably doesn't fit under these three, so we're going to leave it blank. You can then select a chart color. This will allow any leave requests that employees apply for to appear on the P-Leave calendar. It's really handy, so just make sure you select a color. You won't need to worry about external codes or external categories. This is purely for if you are running a payroll integration, and most likely when you run the integration, this will be done for you. Balance and accrual elements are only for leave types that you would like to project leave on top of, which is probably only applicable for categories such as annual leave, so we don't need to worry about it for parental leave for now. In the context section, this allows you to define who has access to the leave type and the balance. So under the context and usage section, you can select whether this is purely for balance purposes, requests, history, or exchange. Again, you don't have to complete this. This is just metadata, but for this purpose, we would say that it's for requests. You can then choose to hide the request if you'd like. If you do this, the request will not be available to employees. So we don't want that. We want people to be able to use this leave type. You can then choose here to hide the balance if you'd like. This is handy for leave categories such as sick leave, where you don't want people to see their available balance, but you do want them to apply. You can also choose if this leave type is exchangeable, which means that people can cash out their leave rather than actually taking it. And you can also categorize it as unplanned. A good example of this might be sick leave. You usually don't plan to be sick. Under the filter section, you can choose if you would like a workflow process override. This is helpful because the workflow process that you define for leave is a global process and will apply to all leave types. But if for some reason you would like a specific leave type to have a different process, you can select it from the drop-down here. You can then also have a filter type. This is handy if you have multiple companies or regions or locations or org units that might have different leave types. Companies or regions is usually a better example of this. All you would need to do is select if you want to have a company or region filter out, and then all you would need to do is enter in the company or the region ID here. And that would then filter this leave type to that specific company or region, or whichever filter type that you select. We're going to leave this blank for now though. In the validation section, this defines how people can apply for leave and what is applicable and what is not. If you tick validate work pattern, this will look through someone's work group to make sure that they only have hours deducted on the days that they work. So for as an example, if an employee with a work group that is Monday to Friday 9 till 5, if they apply for 2 weeks off in a row, then it's not going to deduct Saturday and Sunday from this leave type when they apply because they're days that they do not work. You can also choose to validate balance. Doing so will mean that an employee will not be able to apply for a leave if they do not have a sufficient balance. This prevents employees from applying for leave that they are not eligible for, which also makes it easier for management when it comes to approvals because the system has done the hard work for you. You can also turn on validate overlap as well if you'd like. This means for this specific leave type, if you have a different leave type already approved in the system, you will not be able to apply for leave in this leave type during that period or on that day. Lastly, in validation, you have override authorization, and this allows you to choose whether an admin or a manager, or both, will be able to override either the work pattern, balance, or overlap validations. If this is the case, employees can pair up with someone who is a system administrator or a manager in the system, and that person can apply for leave on their behalf, which will bypass this validation. And last but not least, you have the status. The display order lets you choose what order this leave type will appear in the drop-down when people apply for leave. And you can also choose the start and end date. This is handy for leave types that might be only applicable for a specific period of time. For example, birthday leave might be only applicable for a 1-year annual period. You can also, if you'd like, just do a quick override and make the status true or false, which will turn off this leave type or enable it. If you leave it blank though, it will enable it by default, so there's no need to worry. And last but not least, you can add in a description if you'd like. And then when you're done with all of that, all you'll need to do is scroll back to the top and click on Save. Your changes will be saved, and if you use the breadcrumbs up the top to go back to leave type, you'll see that your new leave type here has been added to the previous 2 leave types. And if you scroll, you can see a high-level overview of all of the settings that you've defined for that leave type. And that's how easy it is to configure and set up leave types in EmployeeConnect.